What's going on, everybody? Alonzo here with GulfCoastSmoke.com, and today we're practicing competition chicken. So last year we did compete in I think around 4 competitions, IBCA, and this year we have not competed in any. We really haven't even been concentrating on competition barbecue. We've put all of our hard work into our seasonings and into this YouTube channel, but we are going to one in October. It's put on by Batlin Barbecue. It is a CBA event and it benefits children's cancer. It's for an amazing cause. If you guys are in the area, consider signing up. Get out there. Come over to where we're cooking. I'll give you some free beer. I'll give you some samples if we have any. And let's just have a good time. That being said, we want to do as best as we possibly can. Chicken is something that I feel like it's very hard to nail. I don't know why, but I feel like this is our worst cook out of the 3. We're going to put as much time as we can into all of the meats because even though it's our only competition of the year, we really want to do our best. So today we're starting off with about a 4-pound bird here. I got it from my local HEB. I already took it out of the package. And one of the things that we are going to be concentrating on this year is getting the grill marks on the chicken. So if you guys don't know what that's about, if you guys do a lot of KCBS and you're doing mostly chicken thighs, in Texas, IBCA and CBA, you have to do half chickens, and I've seen a lot of people putting those grill grate marks on this chicken, at least for an interesting presentation. I don't want to say it looks beautiful or it doesn't look beautiful, but it definitely catches your eye, and that's exactly why we're going to try this competition. So first things first, you can see that I have this chicken breast side down, and right here is going to be the backbone on this chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a knife and I'm going to cut right down the middle of the backbone. And also, before we get major into the cook, I want you guys to know that a lot of these tips that I learned them from TikTok, from YouTube, from asking questions. I'm not afraid to ask questions. You know, I'm not a competition cook. I'm not going to do damage necessarily to anybody out there. So I think sometimes people will realize that and they'll help me out a little bit. You know, when it comes to competition barbecue, I've noticed personally that people will help, but they'll only help to a certain extent. I mean, it's literally a competition. They're trying to win as well. So I completely get it. And all I'm doing here is I'm trying to loosen this skin a little bit away from where we're going to be spatchcocking this chicken. And now that I've given myself a little bit of an opening here, I'm going to cut this backbone out of this chicken. It really does help to have some nice kitchen shears here. I use Cutco, not sponsored, but they're really good. Honestly, they're really good. So I like the Cutco, or you guys can go get them from wherever you want, but just make sure you do have a decent pair of kitchen shears in your arsenal here. And when you're done, this is the backbone. You guys can save this for chicken stock if you'd like. We are going to throw this in the trash can. Now, the next thing I like to do is get my knife and make a small incision right above the breastbone. And then you can just push down and you can see some people call this the kill bone, I believe. I think I've heard it called that. I just call it the breastbone because it literally is right in between the breasts. You can see this bone just kind of pop out. It's just asking you to take it out. And honestly, even if I'm not doing competition chicken, I'm pretty much taking this out anyway because it makes it really easy to slice that chicken breast. So just tug it for a few seconds. Oh man, I snapped it in half, but it should come right out. Now, one of the first things that I'm noticing is all of this fat under this chicken skin. And I'll tell you what, this is something that I've been doing on every single competition chicken that I get prepared, is I remove as much of this fat as I possibly can. Now, this is obviously very tedious, but I really think that it makes for a better bite in the end whenever you get this chicken prepared for the judges. So again, take everything I say with a grain of salt because we are not necessarily competition cooks, but I really do think that this is a pretty important step you don't want to miss. And another thing that I'm going to continue to do, whether honestly people think it's right or wrong, is I'm going to kind of remove this skin from the breast. You can see that it is not ripping or anything, but there is a little pocket that allows me to get my hands under there. And that's going to make it easier to get all this fat out that I don't want under my skin. So I think that, again, this is one of those things that I do think is pretty important. And I know it's tedious. I know you might think like, man, this is crazy, but Competition chicken, competition barbecue is completely different than backyard. So just remember that when you see me doing all these things. I've gone out to so many, and you just notice that people just do things completely differently than normal. There is no real normal out there. People are using injections, brines, sauces, all sorts of stuff. So really, they're just trying to make sure that they have the best possible bite. I also see a lot of excess chicken skin on the backside here. I want a little bit of this to kind of fold over to give me a little bit of fail-safe in case the skin kind of shrinks a little bit, but this is too much, so I am going to get rid of a little bit of this. And as I'm continuing to work under this skin, you guys can see what I'm pulling out. This right here is exactly what I don't want under my chicken skin. Realistically, if you look at this, it definitely doesn't seem like something that would render that well with the way that chicken cooks. So that could also be why a lot of the times people just don't get that bite through skin. I'm not too sure, but again, I really don't think in a competition we want to keep this under the chicken skin. And now it's time to season our chicken, and for that we're going to be using Southern Belle and Southern Hospitality. So in the past, we've always used our seasonings. We do use brines, we do use injections and sauces. I'll show you guys everything that we do, but don't forget, today we're concentrating on getting those grill grate marks on this chicken. We need to see how long it takes us to get that mark, and then from there, how long it's going to take us to finish this cook. We're always going to start on the backside because the top is our presentation, but we're going to start with a light layer of Southern Belle, and you guys can see those pepper granules there. That's going to make for a really nice savory bite. There's a little bit of sugar in here. There's some salt. So this is going to be a really, really well-balanced all-around seasoning. Next up is a light layer of Southern Hospitality, and this is going to bring that great barbecue color. And you can see that I'm not over-seasoning this. This amount of seasoning is going to be more than enough. Don't forget, when it comes to competition, we're brining, we're injecting, and we are saucing in the end, so we definitely don't need to overdo it here. Now for the top side, we're going to do the same exact thing, and this bird looks absolutely perfect. This is exactly the way I want my competition chicken to be seasoned. And just a little hack or a little trick when it comes to using Southern Belle. Whenever I'm shaking it onto any piece of meat, I want to make sure that I see black pepper. And the reason I want to see black pepper is because then I know that the seasoning is completely mixed and it's just got a good distribution of all those flavors that are in there. So you will see some separation in there because the weight of the pepper and the weight of the salt are different. So they're going to separate naturally. And that's going to happen over time. But if you shake the bottle, if you don't see any of that black pepper, it redistributes everything in there, and then you can get a nice, even layer on all of your meat. Okay, we're outside at the Weber kettle, and this is exactly what we're going to be using when we do this competition chicken. At competitions, I was thinking about it the other day. I think I'm going to have to buy another kettle because how am I going to take this whole table with me to the competition? Anyway, now it's time to get really technical, at least in my book, because the hardest part that I've noticed when it comes to competition cooking is getting all those times exactly right. You think you have enough time and then you're rushing that chicken in the end, or you start way too early and you just don't realize it. But either way, that's why I want to cook around a 4-pound bird all day, every day, so my timing can be right. I'm going to use B&B charcoal. I'm going to use it today. I'm going to use it at the competition. I'm going to use the same everything just so I can make sure that I got everything all the way set up. So now I'm just going to get these briquettes fully lit, and then I'm going to put them in the middle of the kettle. You guys know that I typically will use 2 zones. Today, I'm not. I'm putting it right in the middle. We'll put grill grates on top. We're going to get that sear, and then we're going to finish this cook. Okay, my charcoal is exactly where I want it, so now I'm going to pour it in to the bottom of my Weber kettle. And kind of like we talked about earlier, I'm going to arrange these briquettes here kind of towards the middle. So I want them a little even, but I do want all the heat to be right there in the middle, just so we can make sure we get a nice sear on this chicken, get a good cook. That looks good to me, so now we're going to put on our Weber grate. And then we're gonna put on some grill grates right over top. So this is what we're gonna use to get those nice marks on that chicken. So I'm gonna put my lid on top of this for 10 minutes to let this warm up, and then we'll be ready to sear. All right, around 10 minutes later, we're gonna put our chicken down and we're gonna press just a little bit to make sure there's plenty of contact here. I'm just gonna press for around 10-15 seconds. Now we're gonna put the lid back on this and we're gonna wait 10 minutes until we try and flip. Okay, we're rolling up on 9 minutes and 45 seconds. So now we're just gonna start trying to release this chicken a little bit from the grates, slowly and surely. If we need to, we'll go to the other side here. Just release it so I can grab it. Then I'm gonna grab this chicken, pick it up, put it right over here on top of some onions and some oranges. So upon first look, I almost just tripped. Upon first look, I think we kind of missed the mark just a little bit. It looks like right here and right here, there's a little bit of, I don't want to say burn, but yeah, kind of a little bit of burn. But, you know, overall, this side actually looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to kind of readjust this chicken a little bit. And this is going to cook over top on these onions, on these oranges. And we season the onions and oranges with Southern Belle and Southern Hospitality, just so we can make sure that we maintain that flavor on the undercarriage as well. So now I'm going to check my vents back and I'm going to have them about 1/4 of the way open. And then we're just going to cover this until the bird is completely done. Okay, and we're not stopping the video there, but that's pretty much what I wanted to learn today. I think that 10 minutes is just a little bit too long on the sear when we're using these grill grates in the Weber kettle the way I set it up. Now that is the way I'm gonna set it up, so maybe we go 5 minutes next time, maybe 7, and that should be around perfect, but we gotta keep practicing. That's exactly why we wanted to do this today. Better today than try it one time in October and really mess up and have the judges see something that they don't like. Now, we are gonna finish this cook, we're gonna sauce, we'll show you some B-roll of how it looks in the end, we'll taste it and talk about all those cool things, but this is just installation 1 of the competition series that we're gonna be putting out. Because again, I really wanna do well. I know that it's one of those things where you can't really expect to just show up to one competition, do well, and then just, you know, kind of kill it out there, but we are gonna take it as seriously as we can. We are asking questions to a lot of different people. We're trying to learn. If you guys have any suggestions, drop them in the comments down below. Enjoy the B-roll. We'll be back when it's time to eat. And episode 1 of our competition series is completely done. We're trying to figure out how much time we need on these grill grates with the chicken to get the perfect grill marks. 10 minutes is obviously too long. So we're gonna try 5 next time, and then we're gonna try 2.5 if that's as well too long. If you guys wanna see us do this video again until we nail it, just let us know in the comments below. I didn't really plan on doing this again, but if enough people ask for it, I'll let you guys know. I'll fill you in on exactly how long it takes us, and we can go through the process yet again where I know, or at least I feel like I know, it's gonna work 100% of the time. The next time that we do this video, the next time that we do chicken, I wanna talk about injections. In the past, I'd used Cosmos chicken injection. We got some new products that we're going to be trying out. I'll wait to talk about that until the next episode. We're also gonna be brining our chicken. We're gonna be brining it in a very simple solution. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let's take a quick bite. Chicken's cooked perfectly. Glaze is on point. Seasonings are on point. And I really like the flavor on that, but that's not competition chicken. We need that injection, we need that brine, we need a few more things in order to make it perfect. Now, one of the things that I'll fill you guys in on is when they go to slice up your competition chicken or any other barbecue, they use plastic utensils. So keep that in mind when you're making all of your competition barbecue, because texture makes a huge, huge, huge difference. If they can't cut it with those plastic knife and spoon, I was gonna say knife and, if they can't cut it with the plastic knife and fork, your texture is not gonna be there. So just keep that in mind. That's actually something that I recently learned. Crazy enough, I recently learned that, but I'm keeping that in the back of my head every single time I make this chicken. As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in this video. If you have any competition tips, tricks, anything, let me know, reach out to me. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.